Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics as Non-Classic. This is episode number 892 and Doubleshot number 786. Yeah, there was some typos last few. I just corrected them. Okay, I got two more trades. One that storyline came out in 2007. The other one came out the following year. Yeah. This is something that apparently it's a very underrated event. It actually is really good, and despite being a good event, it actually has very little consequences at all. And this was the first major event released since Civil War I. Coming out in 2007, we have World War Hulk. Hulk smashed the planet. Yeah. Written by Greg Pak, artwork by John Romita Jr. Yes, I know for a fact that Linkari did do a review of this miniseries last year. As far as Event Comics Month 2. Yeah, like I said, came out in the summer of 2007. Roughly a 5-issue limited series. And this is actually a follow-up to Planet Hulk. And, yeah. Yeah, the Hulk comes back after the events of Planet Hulk, because the fact the largest population was killed via a bomb. Yeah, so he comes to the planet. But first he makes a quick stop off at the moon to beat the crap out of Black Bolt. Despite the fact he doesn't know the Black Bolt who voted him in space was not this Black Bolt, it was a frickin' Skrull. Yeah, this is actually revealed the following year because the whole Skrull invasion stuff. Yeah. So he doesn't visit Atlantis at all because I think he found out because Namor was not part of the conversation to send him out in space. So, yeah. He also gets a chance to fight Iron Man. Yeah. And this is something, though. This is actually, yeah. One of two times that Tony has to fight one of his friends. First it was, this is after Civil War I. First he fights Thor, and then he fights the Hulk. Yeah. And the Hulk fights him while also basically plowing him right through Avengers Tower. Yeah, I heard something recently that I didn't know this before. Apparently, Marvel writers love having Iron Man getting the crap beat out of him a lot. Yeah, and here's the thing: outside the Civil War, Hulk and Thor are not the only people to beat the crap out of him. So did Spider-Man. Yes, they did this in One More Day. A really terrible story, by the way. Came out just after this thing. Yeah, Spider-Man's in this story, but he doesn't do very much. What does he do? Well, you see him in this black costume. Yeah, this during a period of time back in black. This was the story that came right after Civil War I and before One More Day. Yeah, so aside from Iron Man, we also see appearance by the Fantastic Four. We're also seeing that Storm and Black Panther on the Fantastic Four. Yeah, this requires a minor explanation for this thing. Yeah. After Civil War I, Reed and Sue decided to go on a second honeymoon and invited the newlyweds, the Black Panther and Storm, to fill in for them on the Fantastic Four. Okay, though Reed and Sue eventually returned to Fantastic Four not long after this. Yeah, the reason I went on the second honeymoon because their marriage was on the rocks after Civil War I. Yeah. Though apparently Mark Millar did not know how to write Riches properly, so he wrote like an... I do agree with the opinion he was written like an alien. Because apparently he didn't care the fact that his own brother-in-law was in the hospital. After he got himself basically beaten up by a crowd of people. Just for being a superhero. In here, despite the fact that what he's been accused of, yeah, him and Tony... Now, Tony does make a confession, and yes, he did vote to send the Hulk into space. That is true. He does publicly admit that. But he did not kill those people on planet Sakaar. As for the person who killed them, it was actually one of the Warbound. Because he loved the whole World Breaker stuff. He liked the Crazy Hulk during Planet Hulk storyline. Yeah. And this is a very underrated story. And I actually have believe it or not, I actually have one of these promotional cards when this book came out roughly almost 12 years ago. Yeah, it's roughly 12 years. since this event came out. Though Pac himself did leave the Hulk book after this, he didn't come back to the book until like 4 years ago when he came back to it thanks to Totally Awesome Hulk. This event is good. Of course, you have the Century fight the Hulk toward the end of the thing. Yeah, because apparently it separates to something that he apparently just can't leave his own house. Yeah, that's thanks to Bill Reynolds. Now, I'm thinking, though, leaving his own house. Last time I checked through this period of time, the Century lived in Avengers Tower. Why does he have his own house for? It's so bizarre. But this event is actually really good, though this is just a mini-series. The only thing I have to review this thing, I'm going to give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. It's really, really good. The only other things I have reviewed for this is the War Hulk X, which has been deemed not canon. And I've also reviewed the Mighty Avengers tie-in to this particular event. And that's it. That's all I reviewed prior to rereading this thing and reviewing it. Yeah, that's basically, I haven't reviewed anything else related to War Hulk aside from these two things. I don't even have the first Trade Avengers Initiative. Nope. But if I meet Pac, I'm going to tell him I really enjoy this. And yes, he did do a follow-up. There is a War Hulk 2, but it has nothing to do with this at all. Yeah, it basically has nothing to do with this at all. Yeah. Here's the thing. Despite the fact, yes, it does come out to Planet Hulk 2, but that involves Amadeus Cho. Now, aside from the fact because Marvel, the reason why Greg Pak did, because he probably enjoyed doing this in Planet Hulk. Yeah, and I know Planet Hulk was partially adapted to Thor Ragnarok, but in the case of this, I don't think this particular book will ever be adapted into, let's say, a live action. I was kind of hoping that we might get like a follow-up to Planet Hulk, but yeah, as far as I can tell, aside from the Ultimate Avengers films, the only other time I can think of where we actually have an adaptation of an actual comic book for DC, but more animated films, was Planet Hulk, which is a really good animated film, despite the fact that it has been an animated film released in like 5-6 years. It's been a while since one's released. Yeah, good event. Next up is a book that came out actually 1 year later. Yeah, this is stuff that comes from 2009, 2008, 2000. This is Guardians of the Galaxy by Dan Abnett and Lanning. By Abnett and Lanning, the complete collection, book 1. This collects the first 12 issues of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Yeah, it's a combination of two trades. It's a combination of the Legacy, the first volume, which is Legacy, and the second volume, which is a Secret Invasion tie, which is, I believe, it's Secret Invasion, not mistaken. Yeah. Though thanks to owning this, I own pretty much the entirety of Dan Abnett and Lanning's run for Guardians. Yep. Sorry, I'm just looking at something here. I know I should have done this before. Okay, here we go. Found them. Okie dokie. Okay, it just contains Legacy and the trade War of Kings Book 1. Yeah. And thanks to these issues, we only have, like, now the original lineup does pretty much become part of this group when the group starts off. Yeah, this is also during a time where, like, all the members of the Guardians were matching. Heck, even Groot wore clothes, which is some people think that's been unusual. Groot wore clothes. Yeah. This group was formed by Star-Lord, and at this point, it's not comprised of just the lineup you see in the film, which is basically just Star-Lord, Drax, Gamora, Raccoon, and Groot. It's not just those 5. You see, Dan Abnett and Lanning threw in not only these 5, but also threw in Cyville, the daughter of the original Captain Marvel. They also threw in Mantis. Yes, Mantis was actually part of this team. They also threw in Moondragon. They actually have her join later on, along with Jack Flag. Yes, and they actually referenced something that happened in pages of all things, Thunderbolts. Yes. Now, during this period of time, Jack Flag this was after Civil War 1. Jack Flag was on the run. He was an unregistered superhero, so he got to fight a Bullseye, and Bullseye stabbed him through the spine. So he was rendered basically paralyzed. Yeah, thanks to him going to space, which actually did help him. Yeah, thanks to some science, thanks to some alien healing, alien technology, he's able to walk again, and it's like stay with the Guardians for pretty much the rest of the series, and up until he leaves, like Wrath, Thanos, and Imperative, and after that he's not seen again until like Nick Spencer brought him back in 2016 when they had the Captain America Steve Rogers title. Yeah, which also he died in that very book. We also have this guy, Bug, who, by the way, after Bendis had him show up in Avengers Symbol, this character's never seen again. Oh, those of you curious, who is the guy with the Captain America's shield? That is Vance Astrick, aka Major Victory. Yeah, the explanation for him is quite bizarre. You might be thinking, okay, those of you know about the original Guardians, he was actually leader of them. Though this is him, but he is not from that original timeline. No, he's from one of the many alternate versions of Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, and get this, Vance Astrick is from the same future as the character Killraven. Yep. Yeah, if you're curious though where to start with the Guardians of the Galaxy, this is a good jumping on point for this thing. Don't if you look at the stuff that Bendis came up with, don't start there. Start with Annihilation. That's a good starting point. And after that, go to Annihilation Conquest. Annihilation Conquest is actually referenced frequently in this whole entire book. Yeah. And then I would jump to this particular trade right here. This book, and then Volume 2, and then do Thanos the Imperative, and then do Annihilators, Earthfall, and that's it for that particular era. They also feature Star-Lord. Yeah, Star-Lord in here is quite... Not Star-Lord. Star-Hawk is quite weird. He's also a character from the original Guardians. This one is a little weird. Excuse me, because the first time you see Star-Hawk, it's a guy. And then for some reason, it transforms into a woman. Yeah, no explanation for that. Also, read it's like, okay, the Guardians disbanded in issue 6. Yeah, because it was revealed... This is actually during the original Incarnation group, where it was revealed that Mantis manipulated all the members to become part of the group. But the group to get back together thanks to Star-Lord being, of all places, the Negative Zone. As for how the heck he got there, well, apparently the Kree have their own portal to the place. I don't know how it's never fully explained. So, because apparently Star-Lord was the one who actually unleashed the Parallax on the galaxy, he is sent to the Negative Zone, and plus because apparently he found out about, because this is also a loose tie in the Secret Invasion as well. Yeah, because apparently they didn't need him to kill a few Skrulls. Yeah. Also, Fantastic Four villain Battlestar shows up in here as well. Yeah, those is King Battlestar. And those of you curious though, if you read the Escape from Negative Zone story, like how in the world did Battlestar get his hands on Prison 42? It happened right in here, in these very issues. Yep. This book is fantastic, and I highly recommend this for people fans. If you're curious still about the Guardians of the Galaxy film, if you notice the credits, characters based upon the Guardians of the Galaxy created by Dan A. Lanning, this is a good start for it. Though this I would recommend after you read Annihilation and Annihilation Conquest. This book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Yeah, I know for a fact this is not exactly like the version that Bendis came up. This is not the stuff Bendis came up back in 2013. This just came out in 2008. No, the trade that came out in 2008. No, this trade came out in... Let's see, this came out in 2014. Roughly a year... this came out just prior... Probably around the same time as the Guardians film. Now, I got my hands on this at Comic-Con. I was so happy to get my hands on this because I got Volume 2, so why not get Volume 1? So now I own this entire era. Now, final thoughts on this run for Guardians. This run is very good. It's a good starting point if you want to read Guardians. If you want to read the present-day Guardians. If you want to read the original version of the Guardians, you have to go to... there are two trades. They're basically Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Avengers, or at least Avengers of Tomorrow. There are 2 books for that. which collects the original Spotlight stuff plus some of their early stuff. There's roughly like a handful of trades that collect the original Guardian stuff. Though after that particular series ended back in the 90s, that version didn't technically show up again until like very recently. I think Dan Abnett was the one who basically brought him back. hmm Yeah, not much else to say. Very good stuff. Yeah, and this is always a fun. This series is always fun to read because it's just so good. I thoroughly enjoy this stuff. hmm Yeah, and plus, fun fact: when this run started, I only have been reading comics at that point for 4 years. Yep, I've been currently reading comics now for 15 years now, and this is one of the many comics I read. Yep. So that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned, hopefully tonight, for my reviews of One Punch Man, Seven Deadly Sins, so the two newest chapters of those respective mangas, on our Comic Corner, and the review of newest episode of JoJo's Adventure. Okay, so roughly about 4 videos, about 4 videos left. Okay, but do next review. Bye.